Have you ever felt that the more you think, the more alone you become? Like every answer you uncover just pushes you further from the crowd. You're not imagining it. Society has always been uneasy with deep thinkers, not because they're wrong, but because they see what most refuse to. From ancient times to today, history shows a pattern. The deeper you think, the more people look away. Why? Let's start at the beginning. Think of minds like Hypatia, Bruno, or even Kafka. Their ideas weren't dangerous because they were false. They were dangerous because they revealed inconvenient truths. They questioned norms. And when you question what everyone else takes for granted, you don't just threaten ideas, you threaten comfort. Comfort is powerful. Most people aren't wired to chase truth. They're wired to avoid discomfort. Arthur Schopenhauer once said that the pursuit of truth is a lonely path because most people are running in the opposite direction. But what exactly makes intelligence so isolating? Let's look deeper. Imagine standing next to someone who's stronger than you. You may admire them, but you don't feel diminished. Or someone who's wealthier. You might envy them, sure, but you don't feel attacked. But introduce someone with exceptional intellect. Suddenly, there's tension in the room. Why? Psychologists call it cognitive dissonance. A deep thinker doesn't just bring new thoughts, they reflect back the limitations of others. And that mirror, it's uncomfortable. Even if the thinker is silent, their presence alone becomes a challenge to others' self-image. This isn't arrogance, this is psychology.
You see, intelligence is tied to identity. Unlike beauty or wealth, which are external, thought is internal. We define ourselves by our beliefs, by the way we make sense of the world. So when someone questions those beliefs, it can feel like they're questioning us. This is why intelligent people often find themselves misunderstood. It's not because they're difficult, it's because they disrupt the fragile stories others tell themselves. And this discomfort is primal. Research shows that when people feel intellectually outmatched, the amygdala, our brain's fear center, lights up. The same region that activates when we're in danger. Yes, deep thinking can literally feel threatening. Not because it causes harm, but because it makes people question their place in the world. Now, think about our ancestors. Survival didn't depend on abstract thought. It depended on group harmony. Fitting in meant safety. Standing out meant risk. So, as evolution would have it, our brains are wired to value acceptance over insight. Enter a deep thinker into a social space, and you've got a recipe for quiet rejection. But this goes beyond biology. In group settings, something strange happens. When someone smart shares an idea, others may not reject it because it's wrong. They reject it because they feel exposed. Social dynamics shift. People become more interested in how they're being perceived and less interested in what's actually being said. In one-on-one settings, deep conversations thrive. But throw in a crowd, and suddenly, truth feels like a threat. This is why intelligent people often connect deeply in private but feel invisible in public. Modern studies back this up. According to research from Stanford, deep thinkers are more accepted in personal exchanges. But in groups, the fear of being intellectually overshadowed leads to subtle exclusion. This is why many intellectuals struggle with loneliness, not because they lack social skills, but because they outgrow shallow waters. And the internet has only amplified this divide. Social media doesn't reward complexity. It rewards certainty, speed, and simplicity. A catchy lie will travel faster than a nuanced truth. And the deeper your thoughts, the harder they are to reduce into a 10-second soundbite. Algorithms push engagement, not enlightenment. This means the loudest voices, not the wisest, get heard. And while thinkers are still asking better questions, the world is busy scrolling past. But there's more. There are psychological traps that make society resist intelligence. The Dunning-Kruger effect. The less someone knows, the more confident they often feel. And when ignorance meets insight, it rarely bows, it battles. Status quo. Bias. Humans cling to the familiar, even if the truth is better. If it's new, it feels wrong. The backfire effect presents someone with a fact that challenges their belief, and instead of changing, they dig in deeper. These biases aren't flaws, they're defenses, and they explain why truth so often loses to comfort. So what's a deep thinker to do? Should they go silent, hide their thoughts, play it safe? Number. Because even if society resists, the world still needs thinkers. We need those who question, who reflect, who dare to see clearly, even when it hurts. Because clarity, no matter how isolating, is the seed of progress. Every revolution, scientific, moral, philosophical, began with someone who saw differently and chose to speak. Yes, intelligence can be a burden, but it's also a torch. You may walk alone, but you light the path for those who come after. So if you're a deep thinker, keep thinking. If you feel misunderstood, you're not broken. You're ahead of your time.